Do you like secrets? I have a big one. Imagine you have a special, shiny gold coin. It is your favorite treasure. You keep it safe in a box, but what if the president said, no? What if the president said, give me that gold coin? If you keep it, you will go to jail. It sounds like a made-up story, right? It sounds like a movie, but it really happened. Right here in America? Long ago, before your mom and dad were born, money was different. Today we have paper money. We have plastic cards. We have numbers on a computer screen. But back then, money was heavy. Money clinked. Money was made of gold. People loved gold. Do you know why? Because gold is real. You can hold it. It is shiny. It does not rust. It does not disappear. If you had a gold coin, you knew you were rich. It was a promise you could hold in your hand. A paper dollar bill was just a ticket. It was like a ticket you get at an arcade. The ticket said, this piece of paper is worth 1 gold coin. You could walk into a bank with a piece of paper. You could say, please give me my gold, and the bank had to give it to you. That was the rule. It was called the gold standard. It meant everything was fair, but then something sad happened. The year was 1933. It was a time called the Great Depression. That is a big name for a very sad time. Imagine if everyone in your town lost their jobs. Imagine if the stores closed. Imagine if nobody had any money to buy food. That is what happened. People were scared. They did not trust the banks anymore. They thought, what if the bank runs out of money? So everyone ran to the bank at the same time. They slammed their hands on the counter. They said, give me my gold. I don't want paper. I want the real gold. But the banks had a problem. They did not have enough gold for everyone. The president was a man named Franklin D. Roosevelt. We call him FDR. FDR was worried. He looked at the banks. They were empty. He looked at the people. They were hiding their gold under their beds. They were burying it in their gardens. They were hoarding it. Hoarding means keeping it all for yourself and not sharing. When people hide money, they don't spend it. When they don't spend it, stores can't sell things. When stores can't sell things, they close. FDR needed people to spend money. He needed to print more paper money to help the stores. But he had a rule. He could not print paper money unless he had gold to back it up. Remember the ticket rule? You need gold to make tickets. He was stuck. He had golden handcuffs. So he did something shocking. He decided to break the handcuffs. On April 5, 1933, the president made a new rule. It was called Executive Order 6102. That is a robot name for a very strict law. The law said, the gold party is over. It said, you cannot own gold coins anymore. You cannot own gold bars. You must bring your gold to the bank. You must give it to us. If you do not give us your gold, you are in big trouble. How big? You could go to prison for 10 years. That is a very, very long time out. Or you had to pay a huge fine. More money than a house cost back then. Can you imagine? Imagine if the principal at your school said, okay class, bring me all your favorite toys. If you keep your favorite toy in your backpack, you are grounded for 10 years. Everyone was shocked. This was America. America is the land of the free. In America, you are supposed to keep what is yours. But the president said, not this time. This is an emergency. So people lined up. They were sad. They were angry. They carried their heavy sacks of gold to the bank. Clink, clink, clink. They handed over their beautiful, shiny coins. And what did the government give them back? Paper, green, crinkly paper. The government paid them $20.67 for every ounce of gold. That was the price. It seemed fair ... at first. People went home with their pockets full of paper. The government took the gold and put it in a giant fortress. Do you know the name? Fort Knox. Now the government had all the gold. And the people had all the paper. And here comes the trick. Let me explain this with a story. Imagine I have a cookie jar. This jar is full of magic golden cookies. I tell you, hey, these golden cookies are worth $20 each. You say, okay. You give me your golden cookie, and I give you a $20 bill. Now I have your cookie, you have the paper. I do this with everyone in the neighborhood. Now I have all the golden cookies in my jar. The next day, I wake up. I smile a sneaky smile. I take a marker. I cross out the price tag on my cookie jar. It used to say $20 now. I write $35. Just like magic. I simply decided the cookies are worth more now. But wait! You already sold me your cookie yesterday for $20. If you had waited one more day, you would have gotten $35. But you didn't wait. Because I told you that you would go to jail if you waited. I made a profit of $15 on every single cookie. And I didn't do anything. I just changed the number. This is exactly what the president did. After he collected all the gold from the people, he changed the price. He said, "Gold is now worth $35 an ounce." Instantly, the government had way more money. They used this magic money to help the banks. They used it to print more paper bills. It helped the country get out of the big sadness. But the people? The regular moms and dads? They lost a lot of value. Their wealth was transferred to the government. It was like a magic trick. So, why does this story matter today? Because it teaches us a secret about money. We think money is real. We think a $20 bill is worth $20 because ... Well, because it says so. But this story shows us that the government makes the rules. Before 1933, money was a thing. It was gold. The government could not just make more gold. They had to dig it out of the ground. That is hard work. But after 1933, money became an idea. Money became fiat. That is a funny word. Can you say fiat? Fiat means let it be done. It means because I said so. The dollar is valuable because the government says it is valuable. And because the government makes the rules, they can change the rules. They can print more paper. They can change the numbers. Just like FDR did, this event changed history forever. It was the moment money stopped being a shiny rock and started being a system of trust. Some people tried to fight back. One lawyer stood up and said, "You can't do this. That gold is mine." But the Supreme Court, the biggest judges in the land, said, "Yes, the president can do this. It is for the good of the country." Nobody fought back after that. The gold stayed in Fort Knox. Today, you are allowed to own gold again. The rule was changed back a long time later. You can buy a gold ring. You can buy a gold coin. You won't go to jail, but the lesson is still there. The money in your piggy bank is good, but it is only paper. True wealth is knowing how the world works. It is remembering that rules can change. It is remembering that sometimes the things you can hold in your hand, like gold or a house or a garden, are different than the paper in your wallet. So the next time you see a shiny coin, remember the year 1933. Remember the day the president said, "Give it to me." And remember that money is a game. And to win the game, you have to know the history. Keep your eyes open, little chroniclers. The best treasure isn't gold or paper, it's understanding the story behind them.